Hello and welcome back to the historic challenges for the final episode here on MotoGP 20. As you can see, obviously we've only got one rider left to get, and that is Valentino Rossi from 2009. It's going to be 14,000 diamonds here, so as long as we finish in the top 3 at this challenge, that is going to be enough. So it is another 4-strokes challenge. Once again, it is at Silverstone, so it doesn't seem very long since I did the last one at Silverstone. It was about 2 episodes ago. But I don't get to pick the tracks, so it's a bit unfortunate. But this time it's wet, so it is going to be a bit different. So we'll head into this then. Now, I don't really remember who I've been requested to play as. I think I've played as most of the people here. So we played as both the DLC riders early on. We've played as Kata, we've played as Barros, we've played as Rossi 2003. We played as Rossi 2012 as well. So I don't want to go on a 2012 bike again because last time was a little bit boring because we pulled away. We played as Simoncelli, obviously, in the previous episode. So probably don't want to play on the 2011 Honda again. Obviously we can't play on the 2009 Yamaha. Obviously we played as Vermeulen before as well. We played as Hayden. Played as Byrne. I don't think we played as Nakano actually. I think we did get asked to play as Nakano, so I might play as Nakano in this one. We played as Kenny Jr. We've played as Biaggi. We have played as most of these riders. Obviously only having 20 episodes, not all of them being 4 strokes, means we couldn't get through all of the riders unfortunately. But I think it's nice to end on a round number such as 20. Of course, being an even number, and obviously the number of races they actually have in the MotoGP calendar is actually quite fitting. Perhaps it's designed that way intentionally, I don't know. So then, we'll play as Shinya Nakano for this very, very last challenge here then at Silverstone. It is wet weather, so very typically British here then. 7 laps to do. Let's get into this for the very final time. So Byrne on pole once again then. So he was on pole in the last episode, and I was a bit surprised by that. But once again he's on pole, so they must have changed it in a recent update then. So Toru Ukawa in 2nd position on the grid there then. And then Marco Simoncelli down in 19th position, it's showing us there. So obviously the key to this race will be whether there's any 1000cc bikes in here. It is wet conditions of course, so it doesn't quite play into their favour as much. But as we saw, me and Lorenzo pulled miles ahead in the last challenge at this circuit. There's a couple of long straights. The track is just quite high speed. You pull away by a massive, massive amount. So obviously Lorenzo, I mean, he even crashed and then still finished ahead of Nakano. He didn't even lose a position to him. So I think it's only fair that we do this final ever challenge on a 990 then as Nakano. So we'll get this race started. Medium rear tyre, obviously we don't want it to wear out too quickly. Let's get into this. So Shane Byrne on pole then, looking over at Toru Ukawa in the middle. Will Toru Ukawa finally get a victory in one of these? I don't think he's had one yet. So we're down to traction control 2, waiting for the lights to go out here. Palmo 2, lights out, and away we go. We'll watch out for that wheeling, of course. Obviously no anti-wheelie on this bike. Back down to Palmo 1. So we go towards the first corner. I'm being a bit boxed in. We've gone very, very slow at the apex of Cops. There's Rossi going around the outside in the Gawa Yamaha. You can see Melangi on the Spider-Man livery as well in front of us. Just dived it in there. Here comes Kenny Roberts Jr. having a look up the inside, but we've kept in front of him for now. He's still looking for a way around us, so we are riding very, very slowly. There's a bit of crash. Loris Caporossi's gone down, and we're still being bashed out the way. We just got bashed out the way by those guys, so we're down into 12th place. This has been an atrocious start. This is not how I wanted to start the final episode of the historic challenges. But I think this is how it will be. Look at, we're getting swamped. We're getting absolutely swamped on this straight here. So we've got to try and get our act together and start making my way through the pack. So first up then is Simoncelli on the power. Looking for me on Simoncelli. A little bit off the track. Hayden's now in my way, so I couldn't get past Simoncelli there. So we're still in 14th. Through club then. We've got a pretty good run compared to Simoncelli. We're going to get him this time. We're going to slipstream off Hayden. We're past both of them. We're closing up to Danny Pedrosa. Going to have to try and not tuck to the front there. So up into 12th. But Hayden comes back through once again. I'm trying to hold it on the inside. Oh, we bashed Hayden out of the way. Been a bit of an aggressive move. And I think that has been the theme of the last few episodes of the historic challenges. Really, really getting my elbows out. Some aggression. But we're up into 12th position again here now. Oh no! Hayden's on the inside again. Oh, so we're back down into 13th. Simoncelli even nearly got past us here. Oh, we're going side by side again. We sort of bash Hayden out of the way on this first lap. The tyre is dreadful. In the wet track, the AI is so good in the beginning stages when the track is so wet. But they've just dived at the inside again, goes Hayden. Back past him once again, so up into 12th place. Danny Pedrosa is next. I really want to try and get Danny Pedrosa between me and Hayden, to be honest, but I feel like that's not going to happen. Hayden's going to be trying to come straight back past me. So full power, the bike trying to wheelie then. Stoner's now got past Simoncelli as we go through Woodcut. Barros is leading, Byrne second, Cato third, Lorenzo's up to 5th. So that doesn't bode very well. I think that might be a 2012 Lorenzo, so he might clear off at the front, unfortunately. So we go through Copson on the power, going straight past Danny Pedrosa. So back up into 11th place. Oh, Gibernau really struggling there. Looking for a move on Gibernau. On the power, so we're past him now, so up into 10th place again. So we're closing up to Kenny Jr. then. Trying to get the switch back up the inside of Kenny Jr. up into 9th place. So now the tyre's got some heat in it. We are actually getting somewhere. Here we go then, round the outside of Melandri. Up into 8th place now. We are really, really cutting through the pack. Oh, it's been a crash. It's Lorenzo again. 2012 Lorenzo again at the same corner as last time as well. So we're now up into 7th position. And that is his threat out of the way. So we could still win this challenge. So here we go then, up the straight side by side with Max Biaggi up into 6th position. Valentino Rossi just ahead of us now as we hit the brakes for Brooklyn's corner. We are really... Oh, Biaggi's come back at us though. Trying to hold it around the outside of Biaggi, but I think he's got the position. Can I get up the inside into Lovefield? Still trying to hold the inside line, trying to sit him up a little bit. I think we might have actually got it now, and if we get a good run, we might want to get Rossi as well. On the Yamaha, I think it's a 2004 Yamaha. So Barros 205 then, 204 4 for myself, so we are going quicker than Barros, the race leader. So around the outside of Copse then. Oh, I've gone off the track a little bit there. So we couldn't quite pull that off, but we're side by side with him. Lorenzo's already back up into like 11th position, so Lorenzo's not too far behind, he's not messing around. So through Stowe then, we're looking to line up Ukawa on the run down towards Vale. The front wheel's good up again, but are we going to outbrake him on the outside of Vale? I think we are. So up into 4th position now, so the podium runner's just ahead of us now. So Kato's next, then it's Byrne, then it's Barros who's trying to make a bit of a breakaway. But again, Byrne doing fantastically in this challenge. So about to start then the 4th lap of the race, 7/10 behind Kato, 2:03.9, so fastest lap of the race to myself then. Lorenzo does a 2:03.1, so yeah, Lorenzo is definitely coming back through the pack. He's going to catch us very shortly. Yeah, Lorenzo's 1.1 seconds behind us here, so we've got to try and make a move on. We've got to get past Kato as soon as we can. In the slipstream of Kato, going to the left-hand side, down towards Stowe. Are we going to get him? Yes, we are, so we brake for Stowe. And really, we're going to need to try and pass Byrne at the next corner, but Kato's still trying to get back up the inside. We're trying to run it round the outside of Kato on the power. No, Kato side by side. We picked up a bit of damage from Kato now. So as we hit the brakes, we're going to the inside of Byrne as well. We're going to try and double the dive. It's not worked. We've dropped back behind the pair of them. And there's Lorenzo. Lorenzo's looking around the outside. So a 2012 Lorenzo trying to get past us here. So he's already had a crash and he's already caught back up. So that is the dominance he's going to have in this race if we let him get away. Here we go then. Closed up through this corner on Kato. We've got past him now. But hopefully he won't be able to get back in front. He can't. And I think he's going to block Lorenzo a little bit for us as well. So Byrne's up next. Oh no, Kato's coming back up the inside. Kato really not wanting to have us to have this position. He wants to be top Japanese rider in this race. But we're cutting him up a little bit there. So Byrne's up next, but Lorenzo's all over the back of Kato, and he's going to come fly past him. He's going to come fly past me. Now I've moved over on him a little bit there. So obviously I can see the line he was on. So we need to try and get past Byrne, and then we need to try and get up to Barros. No, but Lorenzo's through. Lorenzo's just got us there. We made a big mistake. That loud hoy. Lorenzo's straight through. It's so hard to be accurate in the wet here. We're trying to get back up the inside through Lovefield on Lorenzo on the power. But no, he's just got so much more power than we have on this 990 here. So Lorenzo 2025, he is lapping so fast. Oh, they've had massive contact into turn 1 there, but he's got past Byrne, so we need to try and get past Byrne immediately as well. And we've gone straight off the track trying to do so. And hopefully Lorenzo gets caught up behind Barros. Around the outside of Byrne then. Oh, that was so close, but we've got in front of him now. So here we are then, closing right up to Barros. We're very, very low on fuel actually. So we're going to the left-hand side of Barros, up into 2nd position, and Lorenzo's already cleared off, look. And he only overtook him about half a lap ago. He's easily a second a lap quicker than everybody, so it makes it very much impossible to stay with him. It's not like in Qatar where I think actually the 800 I could kind of push down. It was obviously the dry as well. Oh, Barros has gone straight to the side of us, so we've picked up even more damage now. We're in front of Barros now anyway. So up to 2nd position. We've got to try and save some fuel on the last 2 laps. 2 minute point 1, and I've just on a 2:02.2, so I'm very much slower than Lorenzo here. Oh, Lorenzo's down again! Lorenzo's down again! So he's crashed, and how far off the track is he gone? Miles off the track, and we're actually up into the lead here. We've got off the circuit a bit in excitement, but we've got the lead. Lorenzo's had another crash. Completely unexpected. I didn't expect him to go down there. I thought he perhaps could go down the same corner again, but I think he might actually be out of the race this time because he's dropped down to last, and not everyone's gone past that point yet, that's for sure. So we're going to be coming on to the last lap here with the potential to win our very last historic challenge here on the 800. Not the 800, sorry, the 990. The 1000cc Lorenzo has crashed out twice in this race. Now he has thrown it away. 2:02.8. I'm actually going slower every lap. We've got 1.1 seconds behind us to Barros, and this is the final lap of the historical challenges and I can put the fuel back up into power mode 1, but I've got to watch out that we don't run out. Remember that happened obviously back in Assen when we were playing as Kato that time, through Maggots, through turn 3, flicking the bike over into Beckett's. The rear is really stepping out. The rear is not happy about my downshifts in these wet conditions, and it's really not had heat through it the whole time. 1.5 seconds. Sete Gibernau's now down as well. He's been sliding through that section the entire race, so I'm not surprised that he's finally gone down here, and Caparossi's down as well. So lots of crashes to look at that are happening right at the end of this race then. So into Stowe corner then, trying to fire it out. We've got 1.7 laps of fuel left. That should be plenty to get us to the flag. Hitting the brakes then for Vale. We're trying to go in not too hot. The rear is trying to come round with us, though. We don't want to crash. That would be the end of the world. Usually I'd say it wouldn't be the end of the world, but this time it really would. We want to try and bring home this 15,000 diamonds for the very, very last time here. So what's the lead now? 1.5 seconds to Barros behind. I think we've probably got this in the bag. We can probably cruise it home at this point. We've got a little bit wide into Abbey, actually. Very, very wide into Abbey. But luckily it doesn't matter too much through Farm then. So we hit the brakes. Obviously, this is where Lorenzo had his first crash through Village. He also crashed here last time we did this circuit the other day at Silverstone in the historical challenges. We've gone a little bit wide into the loop. The rear is kicking out. Barros is catching, but it's not going to be enough. I don't think. There's only a few more corners to go as we go through Aintree then, and then it's just Brooklands, Luffield and Woodcut to go, and then that's separating us between nothing and 15,000 diamonds, although I suppose it would still be 12,000 if Barros did manage to get past us. We go into Brooklands, then the rear is slipping out from underneath us. Oh, the front end came up there as we went into Luffield. That's really bad. We're on the proper wet part of the track, but we're still in the lead now as we come out of Luffield. We're coming up towards Woodcut for the final time here in the Historic Challenges, the last episode, and we've got the victory here as Shinya Nakano. We got the victory with a 2-minute 2.2 on the last lap there then. Marco Melandri getting a much better lap, which I can kind of believe because I didn't have the best pace in that race, although a 1:59.7 by Vermeulen just didn't happen, did it? Lorenzo in the end then retiring after the second crash. I would be very interested to see what actually happened with those riders. And where did Sete finish? Sete still finished 8th even though he crashed on the last lap. I don't know what was going on with the gaps at this track. A little bit like this last time as well. But that truly is it. We got off to a terrible start, fought through the pack. Lorenzo out front, easy victory, bottles it once again. And I think that basically just shows everything that happened in this series. I did it on the first attempt. You know, the series has been me learning the bikes. I finally managed to master them. We got the victory. Obviously, we've won most of them. There's not been that many we haven't won, but there has been a few, especially when the 1000cc's have been involved. And to be honest, it was like the first challenge. Me and Barros won too. I believe that's what happened in the first one as well. Barros decided to chase us down towards the end at Austin as Marco Melandri that very first time, but yeah, we sort of went over everything in this series, dropping to the back, pulling through to the front, the AI having massive crashes in front of us. I think that was probably the best final episode we could have asked for there then. So we'll have a look at the replay, have a quick look and see what happened to Lorenzo, and then also with Gibernau and Caparossi on that last lap. So on board with the first Lorenzo crash then, he was looking at the inside of Byrne, and yeah, it was actually very, very similar to the previous crash. He just got on that curb on the inside, lost the front, and down he went. But he wasted no time in getting back on here. So as you can see then, he's up the inside. He's turned in so early. Look, he's heading for the red bit on the inside of the curb. In fact, that's exactly what he's hit there. So he's rode on that. That would probably have you down in the dry, let alone the wet. So he's definitely gone down there just by turning in too early and clipping that curb on the inside. Obviously, before we knew it, he was back in the lead, but only to throw it away with this mistake here. So he's coming out of the corner, he does a massive wheelie, and once again, like we've seen many times before with the AI, and I think we've seen it in that section before actually, maybe even with him in a previous race or something like that. Just throwing it away, just doing that wheelie. So if we slow it down and have a look then at this wheelie. Once again, the front comes up there. They carry on trying to turn it around the corner. He keeps on the throttle, which is a mistake. You definitely want to get off the throttle. He's still trying to correct, and that just unsettles the bike. The physics go a little bit weird here. Look how sideways he's gone. He's gone 90 degrees, and that's just thrown him off the bike, obviously, because that's not realistic. But yeah, the fact the bike even went like that was a little bit weird. But yeah, and that was him tumbling out of first place, and that was him into retirement as well, as he didn't remount from that. So it is from the TV replay then. Oh, that was a pretty bad high side for Jorge. So on board with Sete then, and just like I thought, he'd been sliding the rear to that corner the entire race, and that was enough for him to go down. He properly crashed there. A real high side for poor old Sete Gibernau. So if we slow it down then, when I was behind him, he kept sliding through here, and he actually almost high sided a couple times right in front of me, but Yeah, there we go. He's got on the power. Massive high side to that section. I guess the tyre had finally cried enough and it lost grip, and then it must have gripped back up and just threw him off. And Capirossi a bit further back, I'm guessing he's going to have the same crash. Yes, he is. And that was enough to make Capirossi retire, though, I believe. Or did he get back on, actually? Let's watch, see if he got... Oh, no, his bike's come back in the track. Yeah, he got back on then. But obviously he was miles behind the pack, whereas Gibbernow managed to sort of get back on in the pack. So if we slow it down, then it's exactly the same crash on the power. The rear just coming round on him. Pretty big crash, but it's going to happen. I mean, it almost happened to me a couple of times right at the end of the race with the bike sliding the rear. So there we are then, we get our 15,000 diamonds for the final time, which takes us up to 20,900 diamonds then, and that is enough to buy the ultra rare Valentino Rossi 2009. And there we go, we've bought him the achievement, we've got all of the riders there, and we've still got 7,200 diamonds left to spare. But that is it, the completed historic market. So it seems like we can still do the challenges apparently, which is quite interesting. I mean, I don't see the I mean, I guess they just want you to still do them, but you could just do races with these settings instead. But yeah, that is it. The historic market's completed. We can no longer go on to the historic market. We've got all the riders and all of the teams. So all 41 riders, all 36 teams. It took us 20 episodes to do that. So yeah, not too bad. We've been doing it virtually since the game first came out. I think I waited a few days before I did my first video on it, but yeah, it has been a fun journey. I've definitely enjoyed these historic challenges much more than I did on MotoGP 19. Obviously, I went on about it quite a bit in the previous episode, but yeah, I mean, this is how you do it, Milestone. These were a good set of historic challenges. Maybe I wouldn't want the exact same thing again next year, just maybe want something else to change it up, but if it is the same, I'm not really going to complain because this has been very fun to do. The market was a very interesting idea. It sounded a little bit more complicated to begin with when I first got it sort of explained. So when I read the info screen and someone asked me if I'd heard about the historic market, I thought it was going to be like you had to buy them from other players, and I thought it was going to be impossible. But no, they just sort of get randomly picked in the game, and then you just, if you have the currency, you can buy them, and you just get 3 random ones. So it was quite an interesting system. I've not really seen anything like that before. Perhaps it has been done before, but I've never seen anything quite like it. It is a little bit in a way like MotoGP 4, where you had to buy the riders with the currency that you gained from doing races and things like that. So that is quite interesting. It'd be nice to maybe see a little bit of the return of the real events for the next game as well. Maybe some more historic riders as well, because obviously we've got 41 of the riders, but there are some missing from the previous game that weren't taken across. All the 2013 riders are gone. I think a couple of the Valentino Rossis are not in this game as well, although there is so many of them. I don't think they're missing, but the 2010 one is. I think the 2009 Lorenzo isn't in here anymore either, so there's a few riders here and there that aren't there. Obviously we got a few extras, we got Melandri, we got Edwards, but yeah, there is some that aren't there. It'd be nice if they could carry over every year, and it would definitely be very cool to see some more modern day ones, but also maybe some more of the two-strokes, because there's not many. Most of them are Mick Doohan as well. So that does get a bit boring. There's a lot of Mick Doohan 500s. It'd be nice to see some other riders. I understand it's probably difficult to get the licensing for that. That's probably why they do Mick Doohan. So that's obviously the same problem with the tracks. It would be nice to see some more historic tracks, and maybe if the historic challenges took place on some of them. Because I never actually did a historic challenge on any of the historic tracks. They're all the modern day tracks. I've seen plenty of times on the easy and intermediate challenges. In fact, even right now is a perfect example that you could do Donington. But it would be nice if we actually got some of the historic tracks on the difficult challenge, because it should be more of an incentive to play the difficult challenge, that you get some extra tracks perhaps to play with. We always ended up with the normal tracks, the 2020 ones, and to be honest, even at that, there wasn't all of those. It was just a very small selection of a few of them. So we played the same tracks a fair few times. We played Silverstone the other day, like it wasn't very long ago when I last did Silverstone, and it was still the 4-strokes. It's not so bad if you do a track that you've already done with the 4-strokes with the 500s, because that still brings out a bit of a different race. Although that was a totally different race to last time, so I'm not too bothered about that. But yeah, and we've done Thailand before and stuff, so the same tracks came up a little bit too frequently for my liking. Obviously there is 22 tracks, we've done 20 episodes. Theoretically it could have been possible that we did a different track every episode, but I get given the same ones quite frequently. So obviously there is some flaws, but I have enjoyed this game and I have enjoyed this series, and like I said in the previous video, I want to try and carry on maybe doing some historic content, because I feel like that's something I've very much neglected over the years. I've not really done much historic content. Obviously last year we did all the historic challenges, the same with this year, but previously to that and outside of that we've not done anything really historic wise. Occasionally I'll put a historic bike into the modern day and see how it gets on, but it'd be nice to maybe just do some videos with the historic bikes, maybe just do some do some of my own challenges. But I will stop rambling now and let this video end. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that one. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next video.